Hello YouTube, it's Paxton here doing another deck tech today. It's on mono black zombies for tribal. Now, last weekend I got to try this out because our local FNM, we actually got to do tribal wars. So I had some fun going over and deciding what I wanted to do, and I decided to do mono black zombies. Why? Because I like to play mono black in modern, mainly focusing around Gary. And in that deck I used to play a lot of zombies. So thought about making it into a tribal deck, and well, here it is. Anyways, being a mono black deck, the mana base is relatively simple. It's really just 24 swamps. So, plenty of swampage. So this is your swamp for all you Shrek lovers out there. Nice and piley. Alright. Your first set of zombies is going to be the carrion feeder. Focus here. Anyways, he can't block, and whenever you sacrifice a creature, put +1/+1 on Carrion Feeder. This synergizes really well with Geralt's Messenger, which this deck is also running. It also is a really nice turn 1 play. Also allows you to get some value out of blocking, because, you know, something's just going to die anyways. Might as well get some value by sacrificing it. And it's just a really good turn 1 play. And see if we can't have it focus some more. But anyways, this deck runs a playset of 4 of those. There. Next on our curve, well, same curve set. Anyways, 1 mana, we got Diregraph Ghoul. Now, this is just a really value play. I mean, it's a zombie. Play for 1, comes in tapped. I mean, you're really not blocking turn 1 against much. And you get 2/2, so it's really nice and really synergizes really well with what comes on later. But anyways, you can see, that's a 4 of. Following that is the Highborn Ghoul. The Highborn Ghoul is mainly here for its mana cost, having 2 black right out of the gun, so Gary loves this guy. But he has Intimidate, so can really punch through a lot of decks that aren't running black or, you know, just artifacts or whatever it is. So this really helps. Actually, artifacts are really bad for this guy. But anyways, it allows you to get in for extra damage, really fits well on curve, and really synergizes well with our lords. So this deck runs a 4 of him as well. Next up on our list is Geralt. Geralt's Messenger. Basically, he's also here for the 3 black mana cost. He also synergizes really well with the Carrion Feeder. Because you play him, he comes in tapped. Great, he does 2 damage to your opponent. At the end of your turn, you can sacrifice him to him to put +1/+1 counter on him, and a +1/+1 counter on him, as well as give him a +1/+1 counter. This makes it so when he comes in, he's doing 4 damage to your opponent, and he comes in as a 4/3 instead of a 3/2. And it really works well all together because you're hitting them for 4. Having multiples with this guy out, it's just awesome altogether because you're hitting them for multiple amounts of mana. And when Gary comes out at 3 black mana cost is just awesome. So we're on a 4 of these in the deck. Next on our list are our lords. Kind of piling them together. We have the Risen Executioner. Others armor creatures you control get +1/+1, and I can bring him back for some recursion. So it's really nice. He can't block, so that's kind of a downside, but he's a 4/3, so he has a nice body. So that's just him. There's a 1 of him. However, this is my favorite card in the deck is the Undead Warchief. Zombie spells you play cost 1 less to cast. This is really nice, especially with the Grey Merchant. But the main part I'm worried about is the bottom part is zombies you control get +2/+1. Now that's really awesome due to the fact that this guy, well, your Diregraph Ghouls come in, now they're 4/3s. Your Highborn Ghouls are 4/2s with Intimidate, which means they probably are not going to get blocked. And Geralt's Messenger gets really insane as a 5/6. So this deck runs 3 lords. You can run more, of course, if you want to, but the whole idea is you don't necessarily want to do a whole lot of combat damage. It's something you can do, but you really want to save it for the Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Anyways, there's 3 lords in the deck, being Undead Warchief and the Risen Executioner. So we can pile these together a little bit better. Lords. And the last of our creatures is the Grey Merchant of Asphodel. You heard me talking a lot about all the devotion with this deck. It being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9, 10. You're doing a lot with the Grey Merchant. Basically, draining your opponent for 10 is really nice. Or draining them for more potentially. I believe 12 is what you can get if you curve out perfectly well. So having him is really great. It makes tremendous life swings and wins a lot of games on by itself. The Grey Merchant of Asphodel is just the epitome of this deck, and why you would stay in mono black instead of splashing blue for all these skiers that Diregraph Captains and all sorts of other blue zombies. You keep this mono black for Gary, and just does amazing. So in this deck, of course, we're going to run 4 of Gary. Anyways, our last creature card is just 1 copy of Sidisi, the Undead Vizier. Ability to search out for any card is really great. Whether it be another Gray Merchant, a Undead War Chief, Girl's Messenger if you need him. Having that ability to go out and get him. Actually, this combos really well with Girl's Messenger because you can just sack him, search your library for any card, and go ham. He also has 4/6 with Death Touch, so it's a really great blocker, really big butt, really nice with the Death Touch, and just an overall great card. This deck only runs 1 of it because we don't want to saturate our deck with her. Also being legendary, but we really want to be playing Gary's turn 5. So those are all the creatures. Really, this whole design is just to get them out, do some damage, and then when the Gray Merchant comes out, just going ham and draining them for a lot of life, gaining a lot of life in return. So I'm just going to put these up, and we're going to get on to the non-creature spells. So, start out with non-creature spells with 1 mana cost. We had Dark Ritual. Now, this is my favorite card of the entire deck. Why? Because it really allows me to play anything really turn 1 or 2. Having the ability to have the 3 black, turn 1 really helps out, whether it be a turn 1 Girl's Messenger or turn 1, playing 3 Diagraph Ghouls, whatever. It allows you to have a board presence very quickly, and if you can get 2 in your hand, that's a turn 5 play, turn 1. Or what I usually like to do with it is play the Undead War Chief as well as something else, so I can have a really great board presence turn 1. And this deck runs 4 of the Dark Ritual. Next up is a 4 of a Doomblade. Kind of same thing as the Highborn Ghoul. It's really great, but it's in the case of removal. Short target non-black creature. For 2 mana, it's really great. It really helps you, clear the way for your zombies. Removal is not really your main focus. You are in black, so you have some nice removal. However, this is just mainly in there for just dealing with the pesky creatures that can stop you from going really ham with Geralt's Messenger. Geralt's Messenger, Grey Merchant of Asphodel. So this deck runs 4 of Doomblade. Next up on the list is the last set. We have 4 of the Guest Verdict. Same kind of thing as Doomblade, except for it does 1 damage to target player. We're in mono black, so the double black cost doesn't really matter. So it's just really nice altogether. Them sacrifice a creature. It really helps with decks that have hard to hit people, as well as having them lose a life. This is great. So just like Doomblade, we're running 4 of it, and yeah. So that's the deck. It's mono black zombies. It's based a lot around Grey Merchant of Asphodel, getting out there and smashing your face with your opponent. Usually you also have a really great aggro package, considering that you'll have 6 5s and 4 2s that are unblockable, and 4 3s for 1 mana. There's a lot of things that make it really hard for your opponent to deal with. And when I tried it last week at FNM, it went 4-0. I got first place with it, and it got nicknamed Turbo Zombies. So that's what I'm calling it. This is Mono Black Turbo Zombies, and I'm Paxton with Comrade Games, and have a great day.